Good morning, YouTubers. It is I, Mike Martins. Thank you so much for joining me. It is a beautiful day for coffee. A nice dark roast with one cream, extra large. I don't drink usually most of it, but it's nice to sip through the day with my intermittent fasting that I'm back on again. It's been tough with the parents in town, guys. I don't know how to tell you this. The amount of food my mom displays there, it's beyond. We eat well when my mom's not there, but still, it's just almost like an overreaction. There's a new building for sale in town, and let's see what it goes up for. If he's asking $100,000 over asking again, yeah, see what happens. They're not selling. People are delisting their buildings. The only ones that are selling are the ones that it's Chi-Chi. The only ones that are selling is the ones that are being sold are to open marijuana stores. But now they already have 3 in town in this 3-block radius. So I don't think they're gonna approve any more marijuana. There's too many marijuana stores already, and they have to be X amount of distance from schools. They have to be X amount of distance from God, like there's so many bylaws. I looked into it just when they were issuing the licensing like 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago or a year and a half when they were warming up with licensing and zoning and blah, blah, blah? They did this way before they legalized, right? So I looked into it to see what the thing, oh my God, the amount of like responsibility. Oh, there's cornbread. That cornbread was sitting there. That's his name at the bus shelter. Yeah, anyways, it's very interesting. It's the amount of responsibility is phenomenal. You have to but remove everything from put it in a safe at night. It has to do this. You have to do that. You have to make sure the floors are mopped twice a day for any resins or whatever. What? Then you have to do this. Then you have to make sure you have a safe that's this much thick with metal in a vaulted room. Blah 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 and blah blah blah. It's like, whoa! Like, really? Oh, too much. I can see that working. I could see that working in old bank in Detroit that's been like abandoned and stuff. Like an old bank in Milwaukee or something, where you got the vault already and you go in, you fix all the damage from vandals. People will drive that far to buy pot and stuff. So if it's in an unknown area, it'll actually start bringing up certain areas too with more traffic of people, all right? And people have to drive there, so it's going to be like commuters and stuff, so it's not people walking around, right? That's a thought, But anyways, the amount of this, so now they've already maxed out. So people, anytime a building goes up for sale in town, the first thing they ask is it within a marijuana legal zone? And if it's not, they don't buy the building. And that's it. They just don't want to buy the building. They have no other use or reason but to sell drugs. So there's no use for it. There's no other use on humankind, manly earth that we could sell to people that would make them, make them want. So it looks like I'm going to be sitting on my building for a long time, the one I'm in. So I'm going to continue staying there for the summer. Hopefully I get one more Christmas, because Christmas is super busy. Hopefully I get one more Christmas out of it. And then that would allow me to go save over what I need. So when the prices do go to hell, I could go ahead and buy, restore, do whatever I have to do. Or I just sit on bank, and that's it. Just wait patiently until the time is right to buy, right? But yeah, it's been so much fun watching buildings be listed and delisted all the time. So there's another one coming up. So my real estate agent messaged me, let me know, and I was good to go. Let's do this. And I'm gonna get the price of the building in the next couple of days. I already know it's gonna be like $100,000 over asking, so I'm not gonna overvalue. I'm not gonna bother with it, because it's a dead downtown. I mean, they're trying to revive it. My store is like way out of the way from the downtown core, so it's still downtown, but it's way out, like towards the end. So people know me. They come as a destination store. So my store is destination, right? People know me. They know I'm there. People come and visit me from all over the place, right? So that's that. I wanted to put that out there. And yeah, guys, I received a bunch of I woke up this morning. I received like 4 donations on thing. I deactivated the PayPal because I don't want any problems where I have to send back donations to people, because there's already one person I'm working with to send them back all his donations, and it's just been a stress ball of a time. I'm like, leave me alone. Here's all the money back, but just leave me alone. Like, it's stressing my wife out, and just take the money. Leave me alone. I don't want nothing to do with you. And that's it, done. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you back your donations, everything, one by one, everything. I don't need it. You know? And a lot of people are like, oh, Mike, but you're gonna be out money. No, I always treat donations where I never had the money, right? I never had it in the first place anyway, so it doesn't hurt to give it back, right? But it's just nonstop. So I'm done with that. So no more donations, people. Do not. I deactivated the tip jar on the top of my page. I think I got rid of it on my description. I got to go back to the store now and check it again. Guys, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm doing fine. Believe me, I am. I just did that so I feel like I'm getting something for making videos all day and spending, time on YouTube. And, as long as I've helped people out and people kind of wake up to certain things, that's good. Oh, God. Okay. So on another subject, I want to talk about this Al Sharpton thing that was going on in the U.S. a few days ago, where Democrats are agreeing to pay for reparations from what happened in the past.
Hey, what can I get for you?
Extra large dark roast coffee with 1 cream.
All right, that's everything?
Yes.
See if I can do it.
Yep. Okay, so they want reparations for what happened with slavery back in the time in the 1817, I don't even remember when it was. No, 1770, so it would have been in the 1700s, early 1700s, I think. I'm not 100%. I know Brazil, Angola, I know Mozambique, I know Guinea-Bissau. I know those countries because I'm Portuguese, so I know that of the Portuguese history. But I don't know how it worked with the English too much. But I do have one thing I want to say to that. It was their conflict. It was their problem. And I'm not talking about the blacks. I'm talking about everybody involved. It was their problem. It was their thing. It was whoever at that time. It was their fight. It's not our fight. It's not me. It's not you that's watching. This is something we didn't do. Our time. This is their time. That was their fight. That was their stupidity. That was their way of life. That was their, not me. How are you, my brother?
How are you?
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you soon, okay?
See you.
I'll see you tomorrow. So that's that. It's there. It's there. What reparations do people want nowadays? I mean, what is the deal? A lot of people are saying, well, Mike, you're white and it's easy for you. No, it's not easy for me. No, it's not. It's actually worse for me. And I bring this up all the time. When I was in the high school, I'm not joking, when I started grade 9, put your hand up if you speak Portuguese. Well, I'm a Portuguese. Go to the back of the class. That's half the class. To the back. We don't want to deal with you. Then announcements. Come down to the gymnasium and make sure you call your parents to bring in paperwork to make sure you're legal citizens. People were taken from schools. Children were taken from schools and waited for their parents. And when the parents showed up and they didn't have proper ID or something for their kids, they'd take them and put them right on a plane. Right on a plane. And the president of Portugal asked the prime minister of Canada at the time if it was possible if they could actually let them go home and get clothing, at least like a bag of clothes for them to change into. Because they arrive, they have no clothes. They have nothing. They put on a plane and they're kicked out. And this happened to tens of thousands of Portuguese. Plane loads after plane loads after plane loads after plane loads of Portuguese. They hated the Portuguese. I would go for a job interview and they would ask me, "Are you a Portuguese?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." "Oh, okay, we're not hiring your kind now." Hand to God. And that was a big problem. But there was other illegals in the country, left, right, and center. But there was no problem with that. And that's why I have a problem with immigration today. Okay. Maybe, okay, we're disliked in Canada. All right. No problem. But, I mean, they could have made a, or they could have done a better approach at approaching the situation than just doing that. They would pick people off the at work sites and just throw them on a plane. A lot of them paid for work extensions through their construction companies. They paid for their work extensions. They paid for everything to their employers, and then little did they know that the employers did not file anything for them, and they lied to them to extend their stay. So when people are going to comment below and say, "Oh yeah, but if they're illegal, they got to go." No problem. No problem. But when thousands of them were told by their bosses that they'll extend their work visas, pay me $5,000. There's articles all over about it. Unless they've been starting to purge those articles because they don't want Canada to look like bad. You know how Donald Trump's deporting illegals, and Canada did it left, right, and center like it was nobody's business. And a majority of the people were Caucasian Portuguese, so that even looks worse, because then it'll be like, oh no, this is not good for Canada, right? So yeah, it is not good for Canada. But it is exactly what it is. It is what it is, and it happened for about 8 years until I think that government went out of power. Because a lot of people were standing up in Congress and government in government yelling about, "Stop picking on the Portuguese. Why are you attacking the Portuguese people? Why are you?" I think it's because we're Catholic and we have Catholic parades and stuff, and there's about, I think, a little less than 500,000 of us in Ontario now. There used to be a lot more. There used to be almost 1 million in the province of Ontario. Leamington, Ontario was pretty much predominantly Portuguese. Cambridge, Ontario was predominantly Portuguese. Mississauga, Ontario was semi-Portuguese. Brampton used to be Portuguese. Parts of Brampton. Lots of streets in Toronto, like major intersections, were all Portuguese. And unfortunately, we're being purged, we're dying off, and our culture will no longer exist here in Canada in another 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? But the good news is I'm passing on the culture to my kids. I never speak English. My parents never speak English to them, so they learn another language. So if they have to flee to Brazil, they have to flee to Macau, or if they have to flee to Timor, if Timor becomes a better country and more stabilized in the next 30 years, you never know, right? If countries, Portugal becomes more stabilized, it's paying down its debt, which is nice, and things like that, you know. Yeah, I wanted to throw this out there. So, like, when people say, "Oh, you got it good, Mike," because you're waiting, I don't have nothing good. No one would ever give me a job anywhere I would go, because the first question they ask, "Are you a Portuguese?" And that's it. And that's why a lot of Portuguese do their own thing. A lot of Portuguese do their own work. A lot of Portuguese kind of are all majority are pretty much self-employed, right? Yeah, I want to know what you guys think in your comments below. It was their problem, right? You know, as is this problem with the mass deportation of Portuguese. This is our problem now. This happened within like 10 years ago. It happened when I was in high school. It happened years after. So, yeah, it's a normal thing, you know, like it happens. So, it's happening now, right? I don't, you know, and it's happening, I think, in the States now. In some people are being targeted in the States, but Canada did it too. People need to know that Canada played a big part in this too, right? Let me know. I'm gonna leave a link after the video. Right now, click it. It's up like a joke about it. The report. It was called the something report. They actually had to make a joke about it because it was so bad that they had to kind of make fun of it in a way. And here it is. Click on it. Let me know what you guys think and comment below. Thanks for watching.